All right, guys, so I wanted to give a little bit of a setup for you guys to have some idea how this stuff burns, I guess you would say. So here we have ethanol, which could be drank, just saying. Diesel fuel, this is all pump. So diesel fuel, brand new gasoline, waste gasoline or junk gasoline that I've got from a wrecker. I got a couple hundred liters there last week, and it's pretty scuzzy looking stuff. The vegetable oil that I mixed up with the gas and diesel, I think I put gas and diesel. Oh no, sorry, this one was 50% veg, 50% diesel. I'm gonna get more vegetable oil, so I'm gonna do, oh, it's leaking. I'm going to do a bunch on black diesel and a bunch on veggie oil. So this is just what I had sitting here, so I thought I might as well do it too. And this is just used engine oil. Neil gave me, well, he's got a bunch of used engine oil that he said, if you want it, you can have it, which is what most people are gonna say to you. If you guys are looking for used engine oil, this is actually something I want to talk about. Just one second. I want to grab. Getting later in the day, my back is starting to bug me a little bit. So we shall sit down. So what I want to talk, talking about engine oil. So I've had a few people ask about where to get engine oil. The easiest now for us in Alberta, Canada, I don't know about the rest of the world. Small automotive shops, like myself, I have to pay to get rid of the used engine oil. So for me to get rid of 1,000 liters of used engine oil, which let's say 250 gallons, cost me $150. So that being said, most places, if you go to them and ask, can I have some of your used engine oil? As long as you're not making a mess, just make sure you're clean about moving the oil and that type of stuff, you know, a hand pump or however you're doing it. We'll get into that as well. Make sure you don't make a mess. But if you go into a mom and pop automotive shop, transmission shop, oil change place, that type of places, or if you put out a listing on, I would imagine in Facebook, in your area, or Craigslist. I know Craigslist is a lot bigger down in the States than it is in Canada, or Kijiji. We use Kijiji a lot, or Marketplace is big now. But if you go on there and made a post and said, I will take your used engine oil, you just tell them can't have coolant in it, can't have water in it, it's got to be just engine oil, ATF fluid, that type of thing. You'll probably be able to find somebody or some people, places, whatever. If you go in, just remember, if you're going in, you're getting free fuel. You're going into shops and buy them a box of donuts. Buy them, you know, we call it a Take 12 from Tim Hortons, but you know, bring them a box of coffee, bring them a box of donuts. You know, if you're getting, let's say 500-600 liters of engine oil, or even vegetable oil, same idea. We'll talk about that in a second. You know, bring them in a box of donuts or a box of coffee or something. A gift card, maybe not a gift card because it's nice to be able to they can, you know, something. But anyways, I do recommend doing that because then every time you go, you know, if you bring a box of donuts, you get 600 liters of oil. You can afford to buy the guys a box of donuts for 20 bucks, in my opinion, because you're getting 600 liters worth of fuel, or 600, talking in gallons, let's say 125 gallons of fuel. If you're getting 125 gallons of fuel, you can give the guys 20 bucks. And if that's the case, you just leave them your number. And if they have, you know, it starts to get full or whatever it may be, and you need more oil, you can go pump more out. One thing I would not recommend, unless you have somewhere to store a boatload of it, is don't tell them you will take all of their oil, because you'll be surprised. A lot of places will, you know, like when I was doing automotive repair, we would go probably 4,000 to 5,000 liters, and we're not a big shop, so take that into consideration. So, vegetable oil, same idea. Basically any restaurants, that type of stuff. If you have a favorite restaurant or a pub or a bar that you go to all the time, just ask them, you know, what do you guys do with your vegetable oil? Or do you use vegetable oil? Because if you use lard and stuff like that, you don't really want to use that stuff. So I wouldn't recommend using the lard. Anyways, before we get this video too long, let's burn some stuff. So I gotta go get the torch. All right, so I got the torch. I used to have one of the nice ones with the little clicker thing on it, but apparently it got broken and now I don't have one. So we're back to the old tried and true old girl. So something, if you're doing this stuff, make sure you guys don't, make sure you have fire extinguisher around. We have 4 or 5 in the shop. Just make sure, because this stuff is flammable and you could light stuff on fire. You will have to sacrifice a spoon the way that I'm doing it. If you want to do it that way or not, up to you. So we are going to light stuff on fire. So I'm going to set up another camera so that I can do a double shot here. So I'm going to put this one, the extra camera will be in, I'm going to put it down below. I'm going to try to zoom in, but I don't know how well it's going to work, so I just figured I'd set up 2 cameras. So first off, we're going to do the good stuff. The good stuff. Whew. Yeah, that's good stuff. Going to put this tin down just so that I have something, if I spill a little bit, that it doesn't actually pour on the table. Because I'm thinking, yeah, that's what I thought. So this is the ethanol. And like I said, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on the GoPro, but you, I don't know, should be able to see it there, I think. Oh yeah. So it starts real easy on the fire. Oh, you can see it burning on the spoon there. And it'll burn until there's nothing left. You can see it burning here too. So we'll let that burn off quick. It'll only take a minute. Okay, you will probably sacrifice a spoon, so make sure your wife's not missing her spoon, because otherwise she'd be angry. So, next one. We're gonna do gasoline next. We'll do a little tiny bit on here. I guess technically, we're going most flammable to not most flammable. It actually should have been like that, but we'll take the torch. Actually, just use the torch. Probably could have just, for the first couple, we could have just used so you see how flammable that is. But you can see the smoke coming off of it, where the ethanol has almost no smoke. Now, if you guys did ask me about, I guess I should let that burn off. A couple guys did ask me about doing ethanol in your mixture. Now, you could do ethanol. I personally think that if you have, let's say, homemade ethanol, you would be better off to give it to a friend, let's say, and buy gas. Myself personally, completely up to you. Well, the reason that I say that is ethanol takes on water. It absorbs water, so you want to be really careful with that, because if it absorbs water, you can have a problem. Because water in your injection system is bad news. Now, on to the next. Let's do, there again, let's mix that around again. We'll do the, I don't know how old this gas is. It was out of a barrel that I got. I'm gonna say it's old enough to be at a wrecking yard. So, it actually lit up pretty good. So that tells you right there, just the color of it is pretty nasty. But still burns good. And that is, I don't know, it could have, you know, a bunch of good gas in it, could be a bunch of garbage gas, I don't know. But see the smoke coming off of it? It's like a lot of smoke coming off of it, right? And even the spoon has actually discolored a bit from it. Let's, just for instance, I'll wipe this off, just because I want to show you guys. If you take the ethanol, it's not too hot here, because it'll evaporate if it's too hot. The plate's definitely still hot. See how there's like, see how there's no smoke comes off of it? Like I said, you could use it if you wanted to. If you wanted to make it, I'm not saying you should make it, shouldn't make it. If you had it, let's say, same kind of way I get it is I get it from somebody. You could put it in there. Like I said, that doesn't make sense. It's not cost effective, I don't think, to do so. So, okay, so old gas was more flammable than I thought. Maybe I should have lived on that too. And then we're gonna go with the diesel fuel. I'm gonna see maybe if I can find, I don't know off the top of my head, the BTUs of gas and diesel and stuff. And let me know down in the comments, actually, if you guys know the BTUs of this stuff. I'd be curious. And if you guys know how to figure out BTU, we could figure it out. We'd actually do BTU tests on vegetable oil, black diesel, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. So here is this is just regular old diesel fuel. It doesn't catch on fire. If you atomize it, it catches on fire. But like if you do that and you get it hot, now take into consideration the spoon is now hot, right? Because if I put it on here, see how it goes out? But if I start the lighter back, or if I start the torch back up, if you get it hot, that's the reason it works perfect for internal combustion engines. And that's the reason when you're cold and it won't start, that's why. So that's just regular old diesel fuel. So it will catch on fire, but it doesn't just catch on fire like gas and ethanol does, right? Now, if you're talking Jet A, no, sorry, not Jet A. If you're talking 100 unleaded fuel, or leaded fuel, sorry, low lead, I guess they call it now. That is basically kind of in between here. It catches on fire, I would say probably the same as this stuff does. I just don't have any, and then for me to go get some would be a pain, so whatever, most people aren't gonna have that. Jet A and kerosene are gonna be in this realm. Same with fuel oil, colored diesel fuel, fuel oil and colored diesel fuel, basically same idea. Kerosene and stove oil, very similar to each other. So if you have access to that stuff for a good price, I'm not saying that you should only run it off-road, not on-road, but do whatever you want. So we did the diesel fuel. Let's do vegetable oil. This is vegetable oil and 50% diesel fuel, just for instance. And we will do a bunch more testing on this one. Hopefully that spoon's not hot. No, it's not hot. So this one is vegetable oil and 50% diesel fuel. And very, very similar, right? I would imagine that likely goes out same. I imagine it'd go be very similar to, just burn it a little bit, to diesel fuel. And likely it's gonna burn the diesel fuel off probably and leave a little bit of vegetable oil, if I had to guess. So very still, now that's 50%. Now I do wanna try the same test. I do want to try this same test with gasoline in it, like 20% gas, versus 50% diesel. We'll do a bunch of different stuff, and I want to do some viscosity testing, waiting for the stuff to show up. Hopefully that will show up tomorrow. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so that we can figure out some of that stuff. Now we're going to do this at ambient temperature just because I shouldn't say that. We're going to do it at ambient temperature, and then I'm going to throw it in the freezer. So for our ambient temperature will be, let's say, 70 degrees versus, I don't know, 0, right? So 0, well, it wouldn't be 0 Fahrenheit, I guess. It'd be 0, let's say, anyways, we'll figure it out. Whatever, let's say we're gonna go 5 to 10 degrees colder than water freezing, let's say. That's 20 degrees colder than water freezing, let's say. So depending on whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius, whatever, we'll figure that. I'll put that all up when we're doing that. So next one, this one was 50% oil, 30% gas. No, sorry, 20% gas, 30% diesel. So, nah, shouldn't have to shake it up. Now it is considerably thinner than the vegetable oil, I would say, but when we do the viscosity test. Now, also depends on how thick your oil is that you're starting with. Now, this had a little bit of 1540 in it, and then it was some 1030, I believe. So, depending on how thick it is, but that's where the viscosity test. You know, and you could even do the viscosity test yourself if you want to monkey around, if you're so inclined to do so. So, all right, we're gonna see how well this lights up. Same idea, you gotta actually get the fire on it, but it fires up pretty good. It's basically burning very similar to the gasoline, but doesn't light up as fast. But it is actually noticeably standing here. The BT or the heat coming off of it is not near as intense as the gas, but that's because the gas is burning faster, right? So that being there is a pretty good mix, but like I said, that is 20% gas and 30%, that's what it was, right? Sorry guys, I can't remember. 20% gas and then 30% diesel fuel. So just to let you guys an idea. Now, the last one, I have no idea what grade of oil this is. I'm gonna guess, same as what's in what the jug says, it is 5W30. So now for lots of you guys that are doing this, if you work at an oil change place or something, I would imagine a lot of your oil will be just relatively thin stuff, right? Now this stuff is black, super dirty. And it literally, I don't know where it came from. Well, it came from a car, but. So, whoa, got a little too much on the spoon here. A little off the spoon here. Do the same idea. I'm gonna say that likely it's probably not gonna burn until it gets real good and hot. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to light up. Well, there it goes. And it's not going to want to go until it gets hot. I bet you if I put this on here and keep it hot, it'll burn. So that's right there, tells you like I'm getting it hot. And that's the reason that, same with vegetable oil. If you guys are going to run straight vegetable oil, you will need to heat the oil somehow. And we will get into doing that. We'll get into talking about that more and how I personally would do it. Completely up to you guys. Now, I guess that is a question for you guys if you are interested. Nate is, I guess, our resident, or one of them, I shouldn't say the only one of them. He actually used to run a company a few years ago and he installed kits to use vegetable oil. Now, that is a question. If you guys, needed some help or whatever, I think I'm gonna help, or him and I are gonna work together and set something up for doing that. So you will need to heat. If you're gonna use just regular, I personally wouldn't recommend just using engine oil. I would want to run some gasoline in it and probably still heat it. Probably. depending on what grade it is, how cold it is, all that stuff. So that's completely up to you what you guys want to do. But I personally would probably heat it. Now, we are going to do a bunch of that testing in one of my trucks here shortly, because I'm going to convert the truck over to running on, I call slurm, which would happen to be whatever we're burning. So whether it be vegetable oil, engine oil, whatever. So hopefully you guys got some content or some value out of this. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the channel, trying to grow the channel. The channel is growing, but I would like to get the show on the road. So let me know if there's any more that I haven't talked about that you want me to do, because I'm making a list of videos that I'm going to do. The viscosity videos, or the first batch, I'm going to probably do, let's say, off the top of my head, we're probably doing 3 different viscosity videos, but they'll be separate videos. And right as it stands now, I guess after I get those done, if you guys want to let me know, but if there's anything else, and then I'm going to start setting up, I'm actually going to start working on the setup in the back of my truck for our alternative fuel, you know, a heating unit and all that type of stuff, because I figured I might as well, I can't drive the truck anyway, because some scab bag broke into it. So we might as well start working on that and start getting that switched over, so that when we get to that point that we can drive the truck again, well, I can switch the engine out and we can start driving the truck again. Because I think we're going to have to fix the damage that happened. And then I think I'm going to switch the engine at the same time, so that we can just all one foul swoop kind of idea. But I just have to make sure the insurance company isn't going to try to write the truck off, which isn't going to happen. But I just want to make sure they're not going to try to screw me around. And so I don't want to switch the engine. So let me know. Like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments. And remember, it's not rocket science.